Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Talking Reds, where we bring you the latest Liverpool news and transfer news and much, much more. Last night, we didn't want to talk about Florian Wirtz, but he threw a bomb on the stream himself. As if you were joining us last night, Florian Wirtz posted on Instagram as we were live. Me and Reese were live, and we had to react to it. We didn't really want to talk about Florian Wirtz last night, but it was what it was, and there is more to come on Florian Wirtz today as well, with other reports as well. Obviously, Milos Kerkez we're going to talk about as well. That deal is almost close and over the line as well. Diaz, still more reports coming on in. Whether he's going to go or not, that is still up for debate. Chiesa as well on the way out. Cherky is close to joining Man City as well, so that's certainly off the cards for Liverpool. And also a little bit on Cody Gakpo and the reports, obviously, from the other week, linking him to Bayern Munich. That has also come out as well in the recent reports today. So evening, everyone. Jen has already said, evening, boys. How are we doing tonight, everyone in the chat? Welcome to Talking Reds. Make sure you do, if you can help us out massively, would be to like the video. Liking the video helps us out massively in terms of the YouTube, in terms of growing our channel and getting our names out there. Thank you, everyone that has done so far. And also, make sure you do subscribe if you haven't. If you haven't subscribed, we are close to 750 subscribers, 642 so far. Our race to 750. And then we go from there, from wherever it takes us from there. We'll make sure we get content out every single night. We're live at 7 o'clock, and we also get other content out as well. We've got some big plans for this channel. If you guys can help us in the chat to grow that, that'd be absolutely amazing. Right, Reese. Let's start with Milos Kerkez. Milos Kerkez almost over the line. Liverpool are looking to finalise the deal for Milos Kerkez, with Bournemouth demanding £45 million for the defender, according to Paul Joyce. And when Paul Joyce says something, it's pretty much a cert at that point. It's near enough done. We said that we were going to get done for Wirtz. It's looking likely now, doesn't it?
Yeah, I saw on Sky Sports it said 40 million. So I know it's between 40 and 45. If it is 40 million, that's even better. But yeah, I think they just need. We did say yesterday that before it would get over the line, just need to get it done. Kind of getting tired of, like, see, for example, Sky Sports, they're like, Liverpool are confident. For me, breaking news is when someone has signed someone. Not that's me personally, not when a team's confident.
Did it have to say breaking news as well?
That's what it said on Sky Sports. That's what I said. They're so behind. They're not even though they're a big platform, they're not where it's at anymore. If you get where I mean, because we all know this already. We've been knowing this for how long? For me, breaking news is you have signed this player, or this player is about to travel in for his medical or such and such. But I expect that before the end of the week, hopefully the Kerkez should be over the line.
To be fair, Sky Sports News was the place for breaking news for looking at transfers. I remember back when I was like 16, 15, it used to be Sky Sports Top 4 or 5.
100%.
You know, 4 or 5 used to be always on. It used to be always Sky Sports News waiting for a transfer to happen, especially like transfer deadline day. It was a big thing. Sky Sports News. Naj, what's your thoughts on Kerkez? Do you think it's closer than even in the report thing? Do you think it's going to be done in the next couple of days?
Yeah, apologies for being a bit late. I couldn't log on. But yeah, I think it'll be done soon. I think obviously, yeah, I caught what you're saying about, it not being as quick with Sky Sports. I agree with that. I think everything sort of happens on social media first now, I think. Romano, tapping merchant. But yeah, I think Kerkez will be done.
You even know. I'm back.
What's that? Sorry?
I'm back. It went off for a second then.
Oh, I can hear you. We can hear you.
Oh, good. All right. Okay.
Yeah, I think Kerkez will be done very soon. That's another one not really worried about. I mean, it's the worst kept secret ever, Kerkez, isn't it? Like, he's signed Liverpool shirts. I don't know. Like I said, I think he's.
Can I ask you a question on that, Ashton? Can I ask you a question? If that was a Liverpool player moving like that, how would we feel?
Annoyed, but I mean, without sounding hypocritical, of like we have seen it, in the past. Without sounding hypocritical, like, it is a massive move from Bournemouth to Liverpool, isn't it? Like, I don't think there's anything really higher than Liverpool in a way. Like, I don't think there is. It's like, you know,
Right.
you just
Yeah, I get that.
moving from a big club to a big club like that. That's all what happened. I mean, yeah, it's disrespectful to Bournemouth. Completely, I agree with that. But yeah, I mean, it's a different stratosphere at Bournemouth to Liverpool, isn't it? Like, I just think that. I think that just happens. I mean, it shouldn't, but it just does.
So yeah, I'm going to go on what we said earlier about being £40 million. It was Alex Crook, like I said, £40 million. But with Paul Joyce saying £45 million, Reece, I think that's probably the ballpark we're looking at with Paul Joyce. I think he's certainly more close to the deal than Sky Sports News or any other outlet. £45 million. This is we spoke about this yesterday. They weren't willing to pay that initially, were they, at Liverpool? Because James Pearce came out and said that yesterday. Do you think they're just giving in onto this and just get it done?
Yeah, I think it's 40. It'll be 40 million, maybe 5 million in add-ons or something like that. You don't want another situation where you had last season where you had the Lavia where you're kind of iffing and ahhing and penny pinching. For me, just get it done. We need a new left back. Tsimikas is probably going to be the one to go, and Robinson is declining. So, I mean, long term, you're kind of securing your fullbacks for the next at least 10, but hopefully 10 years in terms of their age. And he's prem proven. Like I said, he's a top left back, and he's an international as well. So for me, just get it done. He's made it clear that he wants to come to Liverpool. He can't do anything more. We just need to do from our end and just get over the line now.
It's the same with both deals. We said this last night, didn't we? It's the same with both deals. Wirtz and Kerkez basically want Liverpool. They've showed more than enough now. They want Liverpool, especially Kerkez. If he doesn't want Liverpool now after what he's done, then there's something not right about all that. Just watching a few hours on YouTubers, you think they're Real Madrid? Depends who you're watching, Polo. The Arsenal YouTubers I speak to are quite down to earth, quite well rounded. Hooks does have his moments, but he's a brilliant guy and is really down. He's down to earth and he's always grounded with what he says. He don't go as far as others in terms of delusion, but he's very optimistic. Is Hooks, but he's definitely not deluded. So it depends on who you watch on that, Paulo. It really depends who you watch on that. Evening, lads. Hope you're well. Hope you are well as well, Dazo. Thank you for joining us tonight, mate. But yeah, Kerkez is. If you're just joining us, Kerkez is almost a Liverpool player. I'd say the next couple of days, I think we might get a Here We Go, which Jen asked for earlier. Yeah. I think we're going to get a Here We Go. And if we do get a Here We Go, if we do get a set to sign for Liverpool, we will be here on Talking Reds as soon as possible. We'll do 2 shows. We'll do one show when it's pretty much set to sign. Maybe if Romano, Here We Go, Paul Joyce, Here We Go. But then we'll also do a show as well when it is officially done for Liverpool side of things. So let's get on to... I don't know if you know this guy. I don't know if you've ever heard of anything like that, but a random player we've been linked to in recent weeks. Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz.
I've heard of him.
I don't know if anyone knows who he is or anything, but Paul Joyce had his word on Florian Wirtz. So Liverpool are looking to finalise a deal for Florian Wirtz. A club record bid of 109 million was tabled last week, was rejected. Bayer Leverkusen have been holding out for a nearer to £126 million. And I also want to go through this long bit here as well. And this is what was said. Let's have a look. Right, David Ornstein. This is what David Ornstein has said on his podcast about Florian Wirtz. It's quite a bit what he says here. So Bayer Leverkusen want a higher figure, and so if when Liverpool do edge it up, it could well be a British record transfer fee should this get over the line. Where things are now is that things are progressing in the right direction. The talks are ongoing. I think they're now at the stage of potential add-ons, the makeup of the deal, the bonuses, and how they would be achieved. So it's clearly an advanced stage. But from what I hear, this is what David Ornstein says here. From what I hear, it's not quite at the finishing line yet. There is more work to be done. But for Liverpool and their supporters, there's reason to be optimistic. I do think they're going to get this deal done, not only because they're pushing so hard club-to-club negotiations, but also of the desire of Wirtz. So, whilst Paul Joyce pretty much saying it is looking very, very good, they're holding out for 126 million. There is sort of there's still slight little bit there, Naj, that it's not quite done yet. It's still the tweaks and the little parts of the contract I don't think they were agreeing on. Also, £109 million bid was rejected last week. £126 million is what they're asking for.
Yeah.
Are Liverpool going to get it done?
I honestly, I have no I don't think I think it's just not happen. I don't think it's not gonna happen. Like I just think it's a little bit of penny pinching, but at the end of the day, it's just a huge transfer. I think people have got to take that into mind. I think it'll be done. I'm honestly very confident on it. Like I've watched Rory Jennings' video earlier, and obviously with the news last night of him saying about the squad numbers, I put a video out myself about it, and someone said, "Oh, is it not for Germany?" I was like, "Absolutely not. Why would it matter for what squad number he gets at Germany?" Like I said, I think it's obviously to do with Plattenberg tweeting about McAllister and saying, he's going to take number 10 off McAllister or something like that, which I just think he pretty much confirmed it last night that it's like it's going to happen. It's just, I think between the clubs, it's just that where they want to meet in the middle sort of thing. I think I'm going to say 117 million, I think, 118, something like that, pounds. And then that's when it's sort of, then the add-ons will be obviously whatever. I don't think we'll get to 124 mil. Maybe we do. I don't think we will, but I think it'll be done pretty much like I don't know. I think it'll be done soon. I'm not confident in it. I think I'm extremely confident in it being done.
I think it's coming down to what we've been talking about for quite a while now. For 2-3 weeks, we've been speaking about this. It comes down to what Leverkusen are guaranteed in terms of payments. And that's where the add-ons are absolutely key because, like I said, there's something more guaranteed. There's nothing guaranteed in life. There's nothing guaranteed in an add-on anyway, but something more likely to happen than another thing. Ballon d'Or, for example, Florian Wirtz to win the Ballon d'Or, you might get an extra 10 million. But Florian Wirtz to, for example, get 50 appearances, you might get 5 million. You know what I'm saying? That is more likely to happen than 50 appearances than the Ballon d'Or. I'm not saying he can't get Ballon d'Or. I think he can get Ballon d'Or at Liverpool. If we were in the Champions League and he's the main part of it, of course he can. But that's not guaranteed for Leverkusen to say, yeah, we're definitely going to get that money. They want these add-ons to be, most of them to be, yeah, we're going to end up getting that money. And that's, at the end of the day, it's their star player. They need to get as much as they can from it. And the add-ons are absolutely important. I think the initial fee is absolutely important as well. £109 million was the original fee, 124 they're asking for. So it's still quite a bit off in terms of, like you said, I think 115 possibly could be the number that gets it over the line. It could last a few weeks. We talk about it like it's near enough done. Luis Diaz actually has said that it's 99% done, and Luis Diaz is very, very, very reliable and close to Liverpool. But you could be saying that, and we could still be a few more weeks, and it's still not been done. Reese, give me how long do you think it could take, Reese? I think you talk about maybe a few days, but
I say worst come to worst is next week, I think. But I think before the end of the week is out. And if I had to predict a price between 115 and 120, I think it will be. I think, like I said, the next bid will be the one. Obviously, you've heard that they'll try and negotiate in terms of if they're gonna exchange a player from Liverpool, maybe Elliot or Konza. I don't think either of them want to go to Germany. Otherwise, it probably would have been wrapped up already. But yeah, worst come to worst, I think next week. But if it gets done, as in good news, before the end of the week, the next couple of days or the end of the weekend.
Polo Hassi, is he actually good? Yes, he's very, very good. In fact, if you want a proof of it being very, very good, the day is on tonight. He's playing tonight against in the Nations League against Spain. So, Tunis, is it against Spain or is it against Portugal?
Portugal,
isn't it? Yeah, Spain tomorrow against Spain tomorrow. Yeah, so tonight, Portugal, Germany, Nations League. Get it watched. If you want to watch Florian Wirtz because he's set to start in his number 10 position. How many players do you think Liverpool get? Said John. We answered this last night, actually, John. We actually asked this question last night, and the majority of the chat said 6. Even Reese was shocked. They said 6. He said 5, and he's as optimistic as anyone on this channel. But yeah, the most of the chat said 6. I said 4, being optimistic. Naj, you can answer that question now if you want.
4.
And that's
Well,
me being optimistic, mate. That's being optimistic as well.
I think
So
seven,
after the 3, then who do you lot think the next position will be? Because that's 3 signings and then there's 1 left.
centre forward.
Yeah,
So you're saying
because we have to.
you're saying we're not
because
going to get a centre back. We're going to lose a centre back. We're not going to get one.
I don't know if we lose one.
I think we do.
Unless we lose Konate.
No. I think we sell, like I said, Gomez or Kwanzaa. I've heard that we're open to offers for Gomez. A lot of clubs, there's around 7 or 8 clubs who are interested in Gomez. A lot of Premier League clubs as well.
I think the Gomez
30 million or something like that. I heard.
Though, like he's almost like, I mean, I think he's got quite a long lot left on his contract, Gomez. Like, I think he's got, because he signed one, I think, was it like 2 years ago, and he signed like a 5-year deal or something like that. So obviously I think he's got like 3 years left on it. I think with Gomez, it'd be quite silly to sell him, even though he's not fit, because he's just so he's not robust. That's the wrong word. He's so, he's can play in numerous positions. And I feel
he's versatile. Yeah.
I think, I don't know. We said this a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? I think we was all on the stream. We said it like, we're happy to give Kwanzaa a go for another season because of his age. And I think, you know, when he did come onto the scene, he was very, very good. I think he's just got a poor mentality. And I think that can be, I think a mentality can be changed in a player. I don't, you know, what Kwanzaa already had, or has got, but he's not showing it. He already had that talent. And I don't think you can sort of show that at that age at a centre-back, where you come in, put Konate on the bench. Like, Konate, arguably one of the best centre-backs in Europe this season. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. But, I mean, if a big offer come in for Kwanzaa, I would, and it sounds weird saying this, probably sell him rather than Gomez, because I feel like you could go and get someone. You can keep Gomez for another year. He's more reliable than Kwanzaa in terms of what you're going to get out of him. You know, his mental, considering how many big serious injuries Gomez has had, he's been very, you know, bar maybe one season, he's pretty just exactly the same. He just plays exactly the same. Like, there's no drop off. I mean, you know, the Napoli game and a couple that season where he had the really bad game against Napoli.
And Brighton, a couple games with Brighton.
Yeah, that springs to mind with Gomez. But that was like 3 years ago, I think. But when we've seen him,
the Brighton game when we made him
pause.
He's solid, and he's. I think people forget that, you know, he was probably one of the main reasons why we absolutely walked the league in 2019, 2020, because he was very good with Van Dijk. And obviously never went back to that level, but he's still an unbelievably good player in there, like reliable player when he is fit. But yeah, I'd probably rather sell Kwanzaa if I was going to sell one, but I'd keep both.
I spoke about this with Dave yesterday. I said that I would rather, if I had to choose one, it would be Kwanzaa. I just don't think Slot trusts Kwanzaa. I think Gomez is ahead of Kwanzaa in the pecking order. Obviously, he's young, he's got age on his side, but I think his confidence took a dip this season, especially when he started first. I think he kind of thought he had made it, and then you've seen, obviously, before when he had the confidence, you could see there's a player there, but I think he's a bit shaky at the minute. I just think we need a centre back, because if Van Dijk or Konate gets a serious injury and Konate is injury prone, we have a problem there. For me, I don't think neither of the two are at the same level if you're trying to retain the league. But obviously, we've got to see what happens. But I think it's essential we get another centre back as well. That's why I said 5. That's why I said 5 signings.
Yeah, I think it's essential what we need. But what we need and what we will do is the different story, especially when we're spending 130 million on Florian Wirtz. I mean, to be honest, I said it last night, I think we'll get a few of them. I think we'll get most of the money back anyway through sales. The amount of sales we're making, what we talked about selling about 11 players last night, weren't we, Reece? About 11 players potentially selling. We'll get most of that money back from Wirtz and Kerkez and Frimpong. So it could even be still a sell to buy window. Could be literally a net spend of 0.
I don't think it'll be net spend of 0. I think we'll be 100 million out. I think, but it doesn't matter, does it? Like, we literally haven't spent a dime really in the last 4 or 5 transfer windows. Like, Marshall is probably the most expensive signing we've signed in the last 4 seasons, something like that. So the cash is there to splash, isn't it? Really. So I think it's time now. It is time. It's time to do it. It's time to go out and get the big players.
Oh,
I am back.
thought you
I do
froze.
apologize.
Thought
I
you froze.
don't know what is going on with my Wi-Fi tonight. Someone is playing with my wires. Maybe a rat. I don't know, but I thought we got rid of the rat. I reckon we got a striker who I have no idea. Maybe we get Gyökeres or we get a stopgap holder type player like Harry Kane, if possible, and wait until our long-term target becomes available. I mean, that's not a bad shout there, Daz. It's not a bad shout at all because we've had stopgaps before. We just need to get good stopgaps if that is the case. If we are certainly, and we've got to make sure we do get like an Isak next season. If Isak isn't available now, or an Alvarez isn't available now, then go get an Isak or an Alvarez next season. If we are certain to go get him, I wouldn't mind a stopgap if it's a decent one. I know you said you don't want Jonathan David last night, Reece, but would you take Jonathan David as a stopgap?
No. Like we have said when we're trying to sign players, they've said we're only trying to sign players that are going to enhance or improve the squad. Not trying to sign players that are project players that are not good enough to play at this level. You can see what City are trying to do. The players they're trying to get, like I said, Arsenal haven't signed anyone yet. They're probably going to sign it. They will sign a few players. Obviously, United are in the mud, but you can still see they're getting one or two good players. Next season is going to be a very interesting season. For me, like I said, we have to get only players that are quality players. You want to be able to bring on like for like. If you're bringing off a Salah, you want to be able to have someone that can come on, vice versa. I don't want like I said, a similar situation with Nunes. Someone who's going to miss clear-cut chances, someone who makes the wrong choices, who kind of has nosebleeds when he gets in front of goal. We need someone who's gonna put the ball away. So like I said, worst come to worst, if we didn't get someone and we kept Diaz, I would keep Diaz as the false nine, and you have Jota as the backup, and then you go and get the striker. Like I said, you go all out and get the Alvarez or Isak next season if you're not able to get.
Would you take a Harry Kane like Daz or Naj?
I would
Harry
take,
Kane.
but 100%, I just believe Bayern's not going to be doing any business with us because we pulled their pants down. They're probably upset. So, yeah, they're not. I mean, I would. 100%.
I mean, they're coming out again with the Gakpo news. They're coming out again with the Gakpo stuff. Is the German media again? Sport Bill come out today saying Gakpo's agents talked to Bayern Munich 3 weeks ago, hoping to get a reaction from Liverpool.
Yeah, he can talk what he wants. The agent. That's all it is. Talk. I'm not really interested. Or
do you think Bayern's just controlling the media at this point and saying,
yeah, I just
annoyed them?
They're upset, isn't it? So they're just trying to see if they can get a little get back. But
there isn't no chance that Gakpo's to go to Bayern. I can tell you that. That's just the fact. Like, he's just not going to do that. Dale keeps freezing, doesn't he?
Oh, he's froze again.
Yeah, he's gone again.
Damn. What was that? I'm trying to think what other news there was. Are you back now? No, he's still frozen. I'm trying to think who else. I had a story there of some rumors of us being linked with Rafael Leao. That's if Diaz goes. Me personally, I don't want him because I spoke about this with Dame yesterday. I think he's a good player, but I think he's very hot and cold.
Yeah,
very hot and cold. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm exactly the same as you. I think he's got he's talented. I'm not going to disagree that he's not talented. I just don't think I think he is literally like a project player again. That's what I think he is. I don't know. I just don't think he's that level. I think he'd probably go to like a team and he'd probably do pretty decent. Maybe like a team like in, I don't know, maybe like go Germany, like Spain or something like that. I think he'd be okay. I mean, he's done all right at AC Milan. But I don't know. I'm not a fan of him. I'd rather keep Diaz. I've said this for long. I think Diaz, he's got such a good. I think he gets over-criticised, Diaz. I mean, I don't criticise him, but I think he's still, my point is we can strengthen and probably could strengthen on Diaz, but it's going to be difficult to strengthen Diaz because his returns are really good. He's just not consistent, which is another thing about the lad, but. God, his internet is absolutely cooked.
That's in the bin. Someone's messing about with him today. Yeah, I think with Diaz, I think unless he wants to go, I'm happy to keep it. And obviously, he can play a few positions as well. Yeah, I do think he's quite a purple patch player. He's one of those when he is in form, he'll score. He might score 3 or 4 or 5 goals in 2 or 3 games, and he might have 4 or 5 games where he doesn't score. But what I will say is that he played quite a lot of minutes outside of Salah. He was probably our like main attacker. So Liverpool kind of ran him into the ground like last season. So to cut him a bit of slack, he did play quite a bit. That's because obviously Nunes and Jota weren't really performing.
I was thinking about this the other day. Like, obviously just going off your point what you said about keeping him and using him as a false nine. I don't think he was that bad as a false nine. I actually thought he was pretty good there.
No, he was good. He was good. I just think what's it called? There was a period where it wasn't working.
Yeah.
I think we should use it, but it shouldn't be something where that's what we're going to do all the time. It should be more variety. So we use that sometimes, then you might decide use a normal number 9. But because, like I said, Nunes weren't really performing enough in the season, weren't consistent enough, and Jota with the injuries, and then he weren't really performing when he came back from his injury. He didn't really have the shooting boots on. We're kind of lucky that Slot was able to think of putting Diaz up front, because I know he kind of has played there for Colombia. So
I think
am I back now, guys? Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. You saw it in now.
I've not a clue what is going on. This never happens. This never happens. Go on, now. You were saying something. Go on, mate.
I think that's the thing with this window. Like, maybe look to keep Diaz. If you want to sell him, probably sell him next season. Probably be the time to maybe. I don't know. I think the only signing we're going to make after Wirtz will be a striker. I mean, like you say, we need a centre back for cover. Probably the midfielder, but I think Bajcetic will be the one for that. I'm actually more than happy to see how Bajcetic will do. Like, I'm not against it or anything. I don't think we're not getting some rubbish who's coming in really. And then it's just, I think all the eyes are turning who we're going to get up front. I don't know if we want a stopgap either. Like, if it's going to be 100 million to get Alvarez out of Atletico, go and do it. Like, I think.
Yeah. If you look at Liverpool's history, though, they don't strike as a team that will go and get a stopgap. They're quite calculated and precise in the market. And then to go back to your previous point, with Bajcetic, where do you think he'll play as the 6? You think he'll be like the second choice to Gravenberch?
I think so, yeah. Like, I mean, I've said it a few times on this channel. Like, his numbers have been really good. Like, his second loan he had this season, obviously, Pet Linders, the god, went out to Salzburg.
The snake.
So he took him out there, didn't he? And then Pet Linders, the tactical mastermind, didn't do very well with Salzburg. And I think he struggled there, Bajcetic. But then when he went to his loan in Las Palmas, like, his numbers are brilliant. I mean, La Liga's not the Premier League, but like his numbers were great. Like, he had like most interceptions, most passes forward in the league. Like, really, like, from a deep line position, like, really good. I think because he's already been good when he first come in at Liverpool as like a 17, 18-year-old when he started playing, and he was very, a very poor season for Liverpool when he was playing. He was probably one of the best players, and obviously got injured. I know after that, but I think he's got a high ceiling. Bajcetic, like, I do think he's got a really high ceiling. So it'll be interesting to see the rotation between him and Gravenberch. I think he's naturally a little bit more defensive than Gravenberch as well, because he's obviously had that centre back through the youth system when he was at Celta Vigo and stuff, and then obviously when he moved to Liverpool under 21s and stuff like that. So I'm willing to like give him the chance, really. I mean, he's not going to get in over Gravenberch. We know that, because Gravenberch's had an unbelievable season. But all we need is just someone who's going to be very consistent and also got legs, which Bajcetic has got, to come in and fill Gravenberch in games, because he just can't. He can't play 60 games.
We saw that already this season.
Yeah, like, if you went off like the averages, the law of averages with Bajcetic and Gravenberch, if you had them, Gravenberch starts every 2-3 games and Bajcetic starts the other, like, you're going to get the maximal percentage out of Gravenberch of him being good all season, and then you're going to get the what's the word I'm looking for? The progression Bajcetic coming through in the slot system, which I think it'll work out really well with it. I think if that does work, I hope it does, because I do like Bajcetic. I think he's a good lad with the way he's just quite aggressive. I like that in a young player. Like, he's fearless in a way. Like, I always remember a really good performance against Villa when he scored and in the green kit, and he was everywhere. He was just mopping up, and he scored, obviously. And that's what. It was good to see that, because we've not really had that for a while in the middle from a young player, and I'm looking forward to seeing it happen. And I think that's why we won't sign a midfielder. I think Slot's probably looked at that as well. I don't want to see him go out on loan, because I think that's just going to leave us short. So I'd like to see him in. Tyler Morton goes. I think he qualifies as homegrown as well, actually, Bajcetic. So I think that's another reason why we'll keep him in, because obviously I think he was at the 16 or 15. He was at Liverpool youth, I think, at the academy. So qualifies homegrown, which is good. So does Frimpong. Obviously, I think Elliott goes, Morton goes. There's 2 homegrown gone, and obviously replace them with 2 homegrown as well. Because that is it 7 now, or is it 8? What is it?
It's usually 8, isn't it? I don't know what it is now though. But someone else went, didn't they? I can't think who else went.
Yeah, I can't think.
Dame, are you confident with Bajcetic as the number 2 for this season? Obviously,
I would do.
We need a DM. Long term, we know we need a defensive mid.
Yeah. But what I would do personally is I like Endo, but if I had to sacrifice anyone, it would be Endo, and I'd have Bajcetic, and a perfectly one for me, Stiller, Bajcetic, and Gravenberch as your 3.
Stiller looks like he's going Madrid, no?
I know, but that's my perfect one. Other than that, there's other people, there's players out there. I think Edison's a good choice. Baleba would be nice, but I don't think he suits that system. But yeah, I think it would be. I think that's what I would do personally. But I'm happy keeping Endo. But yeah, I think it's a big mistake not going to DM, unless Bajcetic really does step up.
What's funny though is we did think it was a big mistake not getting a DM last season, and we won the league.
We got away with that though.
I don't think we got
away with that.
You can't downplay it. We didn't get away with it, Dame.
We got away with it. We
won it by a landslide. We didn't get away.
Next season's going to be different. It's not going to be like that.
I never said it's not going to be different, but we're going to look at who we're trying to sign now. Look at who we're signing. We're not sitting on our hands, are we?
Yeah, well, I'm on about the DM sort of situation. I'm not about the DM situation. I think if Arsenal were anywhere decent this season in terms of pushing us, I think that DM costs us the league.
They weren't horrible. They weren't terrible.
I think Champions League was massive. If our midfield didn't drop off in that Champions League, we might have beaten PSG.
I
agree.
I'll agree and disagree with that. Like, I think Gravenberch was so good this season, and I think people obviously a little bit of recency over it, which I think it's fine. He's not being what he was from August through to January. We know that, but I think it's just totally down to his legs. His legs were knackered. You could see he was absolutely shot, and that's just what it's come down to. That's what I'm happy with. That's why I say I'm happy with Bajcetic, because I know he's very athletic as well. But what I sort of like with Slot is what I can't remember what I watched the other day, and it was someone saying about Van Basten with Slot. He changes things like with tactically and stuff like that. Like, he got the best out of someone who's got a very unique skill set in Gravenberch. He's big, he's tall, he's powerful, he's a very powerful runner, and he's got he's excellent on the ball. And I think if you looked at all the profiles of any CDM in the world, no one's got them sort of what Gravenberch has. And I think what Slot did really well this season is use McAllister and Gravenberch so well in a system where they both was a sort of defensive midfielder. They both was doing the tackling. I get that Rodri is the one that, if you look at Rodri, he's like the perfect example of a CDM. He's the one who's winning the ball back in them positions. I think they shared it quite a lot this season, and I think both of them are brilliant. But when we got to the Champions League, I think the legs sort of went in them players that you could see they were very, very tired. But yeah, and that's sort of why I'm obviously looking forward to Bajcetic. He's already been at Liverpool. He's already been in that midfield when it was nowhere near as good as it is now. And, adding him to it, like, that's probably a good thing, I think, if you're looking forward to, sort of resting, rotating players. Like, I'll be honest with you, it doesn't really matter about the Champions League where you're finishing it. I expect Liverpool to finish in the top 8. Play Bajcetic half the games. Don't need to play Gravenberch every week in, week out. I think I'm happy with that.
I think Brett says here, I'm happy with just Wirtz, Kerkez, Frimpong, and 6 outgoings. I think the problem is there with that, Brett. 6 outgoings, I think we might be more than that, mate. I think the problem is with that is the big games for me, especially with Wirtz, Frimpong, and Kerkez. You know how attacking our team's going to be next season. And I absolutely love it, by the way, but we need balance. The DM is one of the most underrated, if not the most underrated position on a football pitch. It's one of the most important ones. And I'm not just saying this because Man City have dropped off this season, but look how much Rodri has made a difference to not being there. He is the tick. And again, going back to our Klopp team, Fabinho. Without Fabinho, we won't be able to play anything like we were supposed to play. And thank God that Gravenberch actually was had the ability to alternate his position. He still wants to be an 8, by the way. He said it in an interview. He said I'm an 8, but I it's a new position to me. I'm learning it, and fair enough, he's done very, very well. But it certainly needs competition for me. Either that or someone pushing him forward.
I mean, I mean, not like awards mean much. They don't carry much value sometimes. But like, he won Young Player of the Year, and he deservedly so won it. Like, he was brilliant, and I think that's totally down to Slot just using. I think Klopp and Slot are a little bit different in certain ways. I think Slot has got a bit more of like, Klopp's very, this is your position and this is your position only sort of thing. I think only maybe a couple of plays he really was like altered them a little bit, where it was sort of like Firmino become the man in the middle, the man as a false 9. Mane could do that as well. And then obviously he just had his bang on positions like Trent flying forward, Robertson flying forward, Fabinho being that, the lighthouse, as we used to call him. I think Slot will change people around all game. I think no one has like a real set position in a way. Like,
he's very more tactical aware, I think, than Klopp.
Yeah.
And I think he's not afraid to try things.
Yeah, and like that's
if he sees attributes in certain players, it might work there.
Yeah, like Gravenberch this season, how many times did he drop into back 3? Like, so many times. He just did that. Like, everyone was like, what? Gravenberch playing there? And it worked. So he did that a lot. So, I don't know. I mean, look, ideal situation, you bring another CDM in, but look, I think, if Gravenberch's at this level already, why change something if it isn't broken? That's all I say.
The games I worry about with Gravenberch mainly is because he does actually leave quite a lot of gaps in that area defensively. But again, he's not used to that position. He might have to get used to it, maybe a couple of years to get used to it. But regarding that area, it's against the teams that sort of move a lot of players into that area. That number 10 position, sort of like just outside the box, that where they've got wingers that come inside. They've got a number 10 that's there as well. It's them games that I worry about where they're going to overcrowd that area. And Gravenberch isn't sometimes there, and with Frimpong and Wirtz, with our attacking Wirtz and Kerkez, our attacking they are, that could be a big issue this season. But like, if Bajcetic can do it, then absolutely fine. I'd rather that anyway, and him step up. Imagine we also replace Diaz. That's if he goes with Rafael Leao, right winger for Milan. But speaking of Diaz, you went straight into the next topic, and that is Luis Diaz. Paul Joyce has said Liverpool not looking to sell Luis Diaz despite Saudi speculation. But he also went on to say, however, Liverpool have no plans to talk to him about a new contract. So what are we doing here with Diaz, Naj?
Don't know. I don't think we'll sell him. I said this all along. I don't think we'll sell him. I think he's too. He's so little money a week. Like I said, Nat Phillips is on more money than him. Nat Phillips, and like, it's mental to think that, isn't it? Like, to actually think a player that's played probably nearly 200 games for Liverpool now, in Diaz, and been in the first team for literally the entire time, won his loads of trophies, and he's just on such a small contract. That's why I don't think we'll sell him as well. I think,
but what are we going to do? Are we just letting his contract run down?
That's what I was going to say, because he's got a year left.
Two years left. He's got 2 years left.
Yeah. How long?
2 years is this year, next year.
Oh, he's got 2 left. Okay, maybe that's why they're not sweating it then. So, okay.
But that's what I'm saying. But what are we going to do then? Are we sell them next summer and
maybe
get a
next
cut
summer,
price?
either they give
72 million. They offered. 72 million was the reported price of him.
I think that amount will always be there if you're talking about Saudi, but in terms of other clubs, that will slash in half come next season.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
I can see now why maybe they're not sweating it because he's got 2 years left. So maybe they look at next season, moving him on. That's what I said. That's the option there potentially if you don't get a striker. I think you still lead with Diaz and you have Jota as the backup.
Reece, would you take like an offer now and then accept it for next season? A bit like we did with Keita. We sort of did it a year before, didn't we, Keita?
I'm open to that. The only thing is, that could have potentially affect his thinking, trying to help us challenge for things in the coming season. That's the only thing. What's his mentality like in terms of that? Will his mind be elsewhere if it's like a Barcelona he's going to? Will his focus kind of lack? But I don't think Liverpool will do that anyway. I do think I see him.
You could say if you play like Salah did last season, you might get a new contract.
Yeah,
I think Salah's in a different boat though. Unless, like I said, he has an outstanding season. He had a very good season, but unless he has an outstanding season, who knows? But I think he needs a new contract because the money he's on for me. They're kind of robbing him for me that he's only on 55,000. That's kind of.
I think with Diaz as well. Like I always say, I've been saying this for weeks. I don't want to say him. I think he is a very good player. Like we were saying when your stream went off, then they were like, like he can play numerous positions, and he was actually good in the middle. He just didn't. He, like Reece said, like he didn't have some when it started to go a bit pear shaped when he was playing in the middle. Maybe it was just because he was a bit tired. That can happen. Obviously, we've seen it with a lot of players this season, but I just keep holding him. I think if we play next season for 40 million, like don't say anything this season. I think that's fine. Like I'd be happy with that. If we go Saudi, 40 million. We've lost 30 million, but if you're going to go and try and get a player in now, what left winger or winger as centre forward are you going to get? That's on 55 grand a week. You're not going to get a single one. Rafa Leao, not a fan at all. Like if you're going to go and get him, he's going to want 250 grand a week, something like that. Yeah. It makes perfect sense to keep him. He's got 2 years left in his contract. Maybe he does well and we offer him an extension for another year in his contract. Maybe that'll happen, take him through to his early 30s. But, I think he's very good still. I think he just gets a lot of criticism. And it's just, I get it though, because he's not consistent. But I think people look more towards it like, oh, he's like Mane. But Mane had bad stints. Mane had very bad stints and people forget about that. So.
John asks here, hi guys, thoughts on the Konate contract situation? Again, it's another one to probably keep an eye on. We've got to get it sorted. If we don't get it sorted, then we may have to sell him. But I think we've got to get it sorted early. And the problem is right now is we've got Kerkez getting sorted. We've got Wirtz getting sorted. I think once those two are sorted, maybe a striker bringing in and if a couple of sales, I think they will focus fully on Konate, trying to get him tied down. If not, he's got to be sold on. And that becomes difficult because if we leave it as late as we can, this is why I don't like this Wirtz thing dragging on. I know it's only the first week of the transfer window, and it stops and it starts again. It's not the real proper transfer window, but we can't keep dragging things on because then we're putting everything else into the background and the back burner. This Konate thing needs to be sorted quick because if it's not, if we sell him too late in the window, it's too late to get a centre back in. And that becomes a big issue. And not only that, if we sell it late, clubs are now going to be desperate for centre-back. They're going to 50 million on each centre-back. And they know we're desperate. And we'll either have to pay or stopgap again, a centre-back for the season. That gives us a big problem for me. And speaking of Konate as well, he also spoke on the Ballon d'Or. He actually thinks Dembele should win the Ballon d'Or, not Salah. Dembele deserves the Ballon d'Or. His season is exceptional. I do not agree with you, Mal. The Ballon d'Or will not be played on Thursday, said Konate. So, don't think Salah, but it is what it is. If he don't think Salah deserves the Ballon d'Or, then he don't think Salah. I've seen a lot of people crying about it online. It's like, at the end of the day, this guy's French. Is Dembele's probably Dembele's mate as well as Salah's, and he's just basing on his opinion. If he thinks Dembele's been the best player this season, I would personally vote Salah because of what I've seen. But again, I wouldn't argue with Dembele or Yamal for me. Both have been absolutely exceptional, and Dembele's been a big part of PSG basically winning what they win.
Do you not think that's because he's trying to get the French captaincy?
Could be saying that. At the end of the day, I don't think it even matters, to be honest. If Salah don't win it, Salah don't win it. He goes again next season.
Yeah,
I don't think Salah will win it now. I think us going out of Champions League was a massive part of that.
Do you know what though? I've got a point to say on that. Like, do you know who won the Ballon d'Or last year? Rodri. Yeah? Did he win the league?
No, because he won the league and the Euros, didn't he?
But he didn't win the Champions League though, did he? So
I know, but because with winning the Euros as well, I think there's a big part in that. I think if he didn't win Euros, I think Vinny would have won it.
Suppose so. I mean, he was key to them winning the Euros.
Yeah, massive.
Him, Nico Williams, and
Yamal and Pedri, yeah, and Olmo. Oh, Fabian Ruiz actually, Fabian Ruiz as well.
Fabian Ruiz as well. Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult with Salah. I'm going to say Salah should win it because if you look at every single stat, if you StatMuse and everyone put it up all the time, Salah is like stratosphere ahead of everyone else. And I think if you're going off an individual season, which the Ballon d'Or should really go off, like I've always said this, like yes, silverware does back it up, but you know, like Salah's won the Prem and won the Prem in December. Let's be honest, like. He dropped off towards the end of the season, but Liverpool did in general. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think Dembele should win it. He was only good since like January.
He dropped, wasn't he, by Enrique as well? Dropped for a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah. So why should he win it when he's not?
They won the Champions League, and with Salah as well, he was great the first half of the season. The second half of the season, for at least 2 months towards the end of the season, he was pretty quiet.
Yeah,
he kind of always has that period second half of the season. I think he should be 100% in with it to have a shout of it, but I think it's going to be either Lamar or Dembele. I just think that's just how it works.
I don't think Yamal should. I'll be honest. I really don't think he should win it, Yamal.
I think Rafinha's been better than Yamal. If you watch the entire season, Rafinha's been better than Yamal.
He has, yeah.
Yamal I'd say last 3 months has been unreal, by the way. He's gone to a different level in the last 3 months. But throughout the season, I think Rafinha's been better.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do, yeah.
Guys, I don't know if I'm wrong, maybe, but who else also thinks that with the signings we are making, sort of thinking something very interesting, more flexible, maybe similar to what PSG plays right now? I think he's already said he admires what PSG do. I think PSG right now out of the blueprint, the Champions League winners, and they absolutely stuffed Inter Milan in the final. They beat 3 English teams on the way as well. I think PSG's, especially front line and midfield, I think they're the blueprint to watch right now.
I'm not gonna lie. I think we were robbed of generational final with PSG and Barcelona.
And Inter Milan just
very underwhelming, very disappointing for Italian team as well. Italian teams are meant to be known for defense. That was horrible. That's so embarrassing as well. 5-0, you can lose, but it's always about the manner and how you lose. And that was like.
I think this also Daz, 1 second. I think this also reiterates how amazing that 2005 final was, because we were 3-0 down against a super team.
Yeah,
with basically Gerrard and Alonso.
That's one of the best teams that's ever been assembled. That AC Milan team.
That it's like a globetrotter team.
Yeah, it is. Pirlo, Kaká, Shevchenko, Crespo.
They're just in the middle as well. Yeah.
Nesta, Maldini,
yeah. Shevchenko.
Was Yap Sam playing for him at the centre back as well? Though?
Well, Yap Sam.
The Tuso they had as well. Yeah, they had Seedorf. Didn't they have Seedorf as well? No.
Seedorf, Inzaghi.
Oh, too many.
Busting.
too many stars to count.
And we had Jimmy Traore.
At centre back.
We had Smitzer as well. We had Biscan. Yeah.
Did Yaman change that game as well though? Gerrard gets
no, it was the subs 100%. But
Didi Yaman was like with that sub in that Gini Wijnaldum sub against Barcelona.
Yeah, but he is a master tactician. That's why, man. I can't lie. Master tactician.
Brett, is this a serious question? What 11? I hope you're not talking about Liverpool all-time 11.
He gets into any all-time 11, Gerrard.
I think he gets. I think he gets
Come on, Brett.
into. Depending on who you're asking, I think he does get into world 11 of all time. I think he's the most complete midfielder.
Yeah, he is.
It's the greatest midfielder.
And I think the players that are in there, like Zidane, I don't think he'd argue.
The thing, Micah Richards and all that, like nearly every person that talks about Gerrard who's played with him or played against him, or almost all, like literally all go, yeah, he's the best. Like even Paul Scholes, like,
Close,
yeah, he's better than me. Frank Lampard, better than me. Like everyone says they're better.
It would. I think there's only. I say it's definitely top 5 midfielders of all time. I think personally, this is a conversation for another stream, but I think personally, there's only Iniesta and Zidane that's better than him. Even then, that's pushing it. I just think if he was in a better team, had better players around him, he'd have the trophies to go with it. I think he's the most complete midfielder I've ever seen in my lifetime, personally. Xavi's definitely. Xavi and Modric probably make up the top 5.
Yeah, Xavi's in there as well, I was going to say.
89 world-class players, says Brett, for that 05 Milan team. I mean, it was just ridiculous. Literally like a Globetrotters team. Just before we do go, though, Ryan Shirky, obviously that Arne Slot was meeting him in France before the Wirtz thing. He is on the verge of joining Man City now. Personal teams agreed as well. And also, Federico Chiesa has had a verbal agreement reached in the last few days for AC Milan, according to a journalist in Italy. I think Chiesa's out the door, Reece. I know you said you want to keep him, and you think there's a possibility to keep it. I think he's gone, mate.
It looks like it. I think that's a mistake, though. But we're gonna have to see now. Because for me, you're not gonna bring someone in, and who's the backup to Salah? Frimpong. Like I said, I'm not really comfortable with that. I rate Frimpong going forward, but you're telling me he's going to replicate what Salah replicates. No, and I'm not saying Chiesa would have replicated the numbers, but for me, he didn't really get a fair crack at the whip. He didn't get enough games.
He said to keep him though, didn't he? Slot in an interview the other day.
Tongue in cheek. It's like what Klopp said when he said with Origi. Why did I get with Origi?
His actions speak louder.
He's such a great striker. He's such a great striker, Origi. And then you're thinking, why did you not play him more? I think Slot's a bit similar to Klopp like that. They know what to say to the media. Like they're quite clever. Like they're not gonna say, "Oh, he's rubbish," or "I'm gonna get rid of him." He's kind of keeps that morale up and keeps the squad kind of.
Plus, if he says he's gonna get rid of him, it lowers his price tag, doesn't it? Really.
That too, but that's what I'm saying. So, yeah,
true.
Right, boys. Before we do go, I want to see if we can. Speaking of the Champions League, I'm actually going to ask you about midfield as well. Can you think of 3 Champions League midfielders out there right now in the Champions League this season that you would add into that Liverpool team right now? 3, so maybe one each.
There's one I would have added is Reinders, but he's going to City.
That's a good buy, that, by the way. That's a good buy, that.
And he's Dutch as well. I don't know what we're doing, the Dutch connection. We should have just went in and just blocked it and just done a Chelsea and just been like, look, we need to sign him. He can play the 8 and he can play the 6. That's one I would have went for.
I've got one for you.
Go on.
Florian Wirtz.
Who?
You never heard of him?
Oh.
Young lad. Plays for German team.
All right then. Just think about the other players around the midfield, around the Champions League. Don't think about the players that we're linked with, or like Reinders don't count.
Gabby or Pedri, one of them two. I'll go and get.
I'm looking at PSG midfield. Which one of the PSG midfield would you take? Let's look at the teams. Let's have a look at the team then. Look at the PSG team. Which one of those midfielders would you take?
Believe it or not, I wouldn't take Vitinha. I'd take Neves.
I
think Neves.
I wanted him before I went to PSG.
Neves' ceiling is scary. Like, it's frightening. Like, he's 21 and he's that good. Well, he's 20, isn't he? I think he's even younger than that. It's frightening how good he is going to be. Vitinha's good, but I just think, is he going to get? I mean, he's very good. Is he going to get any better than that? Maybe not. Neves, wow. When I watched him this season, I thought, what a player he is. Like, he'd fit into any midfield in the world, and he's that good. I'll probably take him, yeah. That'd be my answer.
What about Real Madrid, Reece? Who would you take from Real Madrid midfield?
Valverde. There's one I'll take from there. Valverde. He's quite
Yeah,
versatile as
they've
well.
got quite a lot of midfielders though to pick from there.
Oh yeah, I just remembered as well. Calavinga too. That's the other one.
Not Ceballos.
Just do it for Bance and take Bellingham, and Trent's on his own. Trent's on his own.
Well, I think
Yeah,
Bellingham
Valverde or
got
Camavinga.
but-
I think Valverde would suit us. I still like Tchouaméni though.
Too many, yeah. He's good. He's very good. He was another one we missed out on. That's where we got. What did we say the other day? PTSD.
Yeah, we missed out on loads of people.
I think we missed out on him though because, like I said, it was determined on who won that final. I think if we won that final, we get him. That's why it's small margins. Like when you're trying to get over the line, sometimes to get a player and win like the top trophies.
Well, apparently it doesn't matter unless you're Man United. Apparently you can still attract players. But
we already saw that though. Apparently he wants around 250,000, or they might give him that. So United ain't got Paul. What United have is just throw the money at you.
Yeah,
and they already got crazy debt over $1 billion.
Fair though, mate. Fair, Reece. I do think Man United do still have a Paul though.
Not crazy like that though. I think their pulse has dropped that significantly.
Over likes of Newcastle to do. I think the Newcastle fans absolutely kicking off. They're crying out.
I'm not even being biased. This is if you're looking at it from a objective point of view, you've got Newcastle, you've got Man United. Newcastle are on the way up. United are down. For me, on his own, he's not going to be able to come in there and lift Man United
I get it.
And then
I don't think Man United will be challenging anytime soon for the top four. But who do you think will win the title before?
I think Newcastle got more of a chance of winning the title before United. I'm being generally serious.
Newcastle,
yes.
Yeah.
Look, do they look like they're going to lose any of their key players this season? No.
They're going to get a new goalkeeper as well, which is going to be a big boost.
For me, their midfield is the best in the league as well. And then they've got Isak, for me, the best striker up front.
As much as I hate it, I just think United will be back at some point. It might take a good 10, 15 years, another 10, 15 years, but I think they'll be back at some point.
Yeah, but that's still a long, long way away, though. So I do think, though, but not anytime soon. And then Newcastle in the Champions League, and you got to look at that as well. I think that plays a massive part now with certain players and stuff. Whereas a few years ago, you would still be able to get some players, but then you look at maybe someone like a Delap. I think the reason he didn't go to United is because they're not in the Champions League and he picked Chelsea. So,
yeah.
I think they got a bit of pull, but I don't think that's as big as what it was. I don't think that's enough. I think you got to have Champions League, or you got to have some sort of European football, and then you got to have the project. Hence why Liverpool kind of beat Bayern in that department. What's your project? What's your plans for the next 5-10 years? The project's like very vital.
Signing Cunha for them, I think Cunha's a brilliant player. We've talked about, he'd be signed for Liverpool and stuff like that, but he doesn't pass the idiot test, does he? Like, he is an idiot. Like, he's a complete idiot. Like,
well, his disciplinary record's very
shocking. He's been banned 3 times. I mean, he's going to go to United. He's going to get banned again. We know it's going to happen at United. When we don't get it, maybe it's that sort of United. They're quite big in Africa. Like, it's they are. I don't know if it goes across to Cameroon, but I know they're very big in Africa. United. But it like reset, and that's what I was trying to make a joke of. Like, it's just the money. Brian Mbeumo's on 50k a week at Brentford. They're going to give him 5 times his salary. Like, he isn't going there for nothing but money. Like, someone put on Twitter, United are like the Saudi of the Premier League now. Like, you just go there for a payday. That's all you do. You're not going to get any better. You're not going to get anything more out of your football career. You're just going to get loads of money, and that's all they are essentially. And I asked this on my live the other day, and I said, "What's the maximum you think United could finish next season?" I'll ask you two this, but I said maximum 8th. I don't think they can get any higher than that, and that's the maximum.
Yeah, I was going to say top 10. That's what I was going to say. Really, top 10.
I think they do get top 10. I think they'll come 10th personally. But I think maximum probably 8th. I agree with that.
And I've had people going, yeah, probably got push the top 4 next season. And I was like, do you know, disrespectful of you.
Yeah.
They're all better than you. Like, all them teams. Like, I I think Bournemouth will drop off a little bit because they're going to lose a lot of players. And I think, maybe short some other players, but I think Everton will be better next season. They finished above United. I think they did, didn't they? Finish 13th, didn't they, or something? Fulham will be better next season. I think all them teams above United who finished above better position than United are, even when United have signed Cunha. I mean, I don't think that rectifies how poor their midfield is. I mean, they've got Bruno Fernandes, and that is it. All of the rest of it, absolutely terrible.
I think he's froze again. There we go.
He's got that mouse has run out of charge, hasn't it? Feed your mouse, Damo. But yeah, what do you think? What do you think of Maxman 8th then? Is that what you said, Risha?
What's that?
United Maxman 8th next season.
Maybe 7th or 6th, only because they're not in any European competition, so they just got. There's basically more or less one game a week. Obviously, you have the Christmas period where you get 3 games, but for the whole year, it won't really be 3 games. It'll be 1 game. So if they can have a good start to the season, they try and win most of their home games, don't get too much injuries, maybe they could get, like I said, 7th or 6th. But yeah, for me, I don't know. The manager, he don't look like he knows his best 11. And then you still got to wait and see who they sign. Obviously, the 2 signings at the minute, if Mbeumo comes in, that's good up going forward. What's going on with goalie? Because you need another goalie with Onana. What's going on with at the back, centre backs as well? And then obviously he's still going to persist with this 3 at the back. I don't really know if that 3 at the back kind of works in the Premier League personally. So
yeah, I was about to say that. I don't think so many people have tried it and it's just failed. I think the only person who got it was Conte when he won the league.
Conte is with Chelsea. Yeah.
I think Amorim and Conte is like chalk and cheese, isn't it? Like Conte is a serial winner, isn't he? Like he wins everywhere he goes. But I don't know. I can't get much higher than 8th. If they do, fair play, but I just can't see it. Like you said, they got 1 game a week, but I don't know. It just stinks to the core of that club, which is great. I love it.
Of course, long may it continue.
Fuck Manchester United. We'll end with that then, boys. Thank you, everyone, for joining tonight. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for getting your chats in. Make sure you do, if you can help us, make sure you do like the video to help us out in terms of getting our names out on YouTube. Thank you, everyone has done so far. Make sure you do also subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are daily lives every single night at 7 o'clock for your latest Liverpool news and transfer news. Myself and Naj today streamed the other day about what 5 games won Liverpool the Premier League. That is coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. It's coming out at 12 o'clock tomorrow. Get your notification bells on for that. It will let you know when it is out. And we are also live tomorrow night again at 7 o'clock to give you the latest Liverpool news. And at the weekend, myself and Hooks are back. And on also Saturday, we are going to do an award show on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. So for your season awards, I want to get as many people I can in onto Talking Reds. We're going to vote for our player of the season. We're going to vote for our different kind of awards, not just player of the season. I'm going to have some fun ones as well. And then also get yours in the chat as well on Saturday. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Make sure you do, again, like I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and